So 120 elite Israeli commandos, one of Syria's most heavily guarded missile factories, and an explosion that shook the region. I'm coming back to this operation again. Dubbed as Operation Many Roads, or in Hebrew, Hamon Kvishim, wasn't just a mission. It was a message to Iran. No target is out of Israel's reach, and for the first time, Israel has released declassified footage and new details that are being seen for the first time. And I'm going to break it all down. The helicopter insurgent to the deadly raid. This one here is a masterclass in special operations. The target of Operation Many Roads was Syria's Seres Industries site, and it was hidden deep inside the mountain near a town called Masyaf. This wasn't just any factory. This was Syria's only facility capable of producing advanced ballistic missiles, up to 300 a year, all destined for Hezbollah. And these missiles range from up to 300 kilometers, can hit major cities like Tel Aviv and Haifa. So this attack here was a big deal. And intelligence had revealed in August of 2024, from what we're hearing, that the facility began experimental production. And waiting any longer would have made the site impenetrable, heavily fortified by Syrian and Iranian forces. So striking now wasn't just strategic. It was really necessary to protect millions of Israeli lives. I want to talk about the operation now. And this operation, you'll see from the footage here, was a masterclass in planning and execution. And it began with a massive aerial assault involving 70 Israeli Air Force aircraft to create what they call a fire envelope. That creates a distraction targeting Syrian defenses and delaying reinforcements. Meanwhile, 4 Yasur helicopters from Israel carrying 120 commandos from Israel's Sheldag and 669 or Sheshesh Tesha unit, which is Israel's elite search and rescue unit, flew at just 60 feet above the ground over the Mediterranean to avoid any radar detection. And this wasn't just a risky flight. We saw this with Entebbe back in '76. It was through one of the most heavily defended airspaces in Syria. And operators knew one wrong move could trigger a full-scale confrontation with Syrian and Russian forces. And this is where that precision of Israeli special operations stands out, just like we saw with that pager operation. And so the first wave of 50 commandos landed, secured the perimeter, neutralized the guards, cutting off any reinforcements. And then minutes later, the second wave storms the facility, facing 700 meters to its entrance. And the target, from what we're hearing, was buried 130 meters underground with 3 heavy doors blocking access. So the commandos had to train for months to breach these exact barriers. And within 50 minutes, they were inside. And in Hebrew, we call that tirgolot, which is where we'll do an actual workup on a mock facility so that muscle memory is there on the day. And so once inside the facility, the raiding Israeli Special Operations Force moved quickly to neutralize the critical components of the missile production. And so what was their priority? Planetary mixers, essential for making precision-guided weapons. And thanks to that meticulous Israeli intelligence, they knew exactly where to find these mixers and how to destroy them. This one's about speed, which comes from actionable, precise intel. Nobody does it better than Israel. And this, but I just want to say, this wasn't about brute force. Operators even trained to use forklifts found inside the facility to break any internal barriers. And so every detail was accounted for in that advance to ensure maximum efficiency. That's the special sauce in special operations. Hey, are you guys a fan of the Aaron Cohen Show? You guys a fan of my work on the news? Do me a favor, help support the show and grab yourself a mini sponsorship package and join my season 1 sponsorship team. Hit the link down in the description. Grab yourself a mini sponsorship package. They start at $25. Helps keep the lights on in the studio. We're fully independently produced and helps me to continue combating that garbage anti-Israel misinformation while bringing you guys cutting-edge analysis of the Mideast, counterterrorism, Israeli special operations, and U.S. national security. Hit the link down in the description to help support the show and join my season 1 sponsorship team. Appreciate you guys. So after placing nearly a ton of explosives, 1,000 pounds, the team moved to a safe distance, triggered the detonation. The explosion was so massive it felt like an earthquake. There was footage of it all online, leaving no trace of the facility's capabilities. And within hours, Syrian reinforcements arrived, but it was too late. The Commandos had already exfilled. 0 casualties, 0 injuries on the Israeli side. But I want to say this. This wasn't just about decimating this factory. This crippled Hezbollah's missile supply chain and sent a very powerful message to Iran and the entire Middle East, which is no site is safe from Israel's reach. Now, I want to talk about the broader implications, the aftermath of the operation. So obviously today, Syria no longer has the capability to produce advanced missiles, and Iran's regional ambitions have been severely disrupted due to this operation. The mission, along with those follow-up airstrikes, ensure that Iran's ability to threaten Israel via that Hezbollah proxy has been weakened. And Israel's message is clear. We're going to neutralize and we're going to act preemptively before these attacks can materialize. But I can tell you this, having served in the Israeli special operations world, the level of planning required for this one is unmatched. And Sheldag and Seret Matkal, those Matkali units, which is what we call them, it's just a different level of planning. It's strategic level planning. And it's just a testament to those tier 1 assets that are in Israel. Units like mine work quickly. Sometimes we have limited intel and we've got to go door to door and move quick because we're going after those day-to-day internal terrorism threats. But with units like Sheldag and Matkal, these units operate and work in a different way. They'll spend months planning an operation. It could be something as subtle as changing a battery on a Jeep in Iran. And so they really do take on more of those selective special operations that require more of that strategic planning. And it's brilliant the way they carry out those operations. And when they finally do come to surface, it's always really interesting to dive into them and look at how much thought and creativity was involved. So hats off to those guys. They're absolutely incredible. So as I mentioned in the last episode that I covered of this operation, we came back to it, peeled it apart. I'm glad the footage was declassified and released. It's very psychological to do that, and that's what Israel does. This one isn't just a tactical victory. This is a strategic victory, and I think releasing that footage is very smart, very Israeli, very powerful, psychological. So let me ask you guys a question. What did you guys think of the operation? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. I read them. And do me a favor, don't forget to subscribe. If you love the show, do me a favor, hit the link down in the description, grab yourself a mini sponsorship package and become a season 1 sponsor. It helps keep the lights on in the studio. They start at about $25 for the sponsorship packages and really helps support the show. So hit the link down below and join my season 1 sponsorship team. I think that's it for this one, but there's going to be a lot more incredible work from Israel surfacing over the next days, weeks, and months. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode. I'm Aaron Cohen. You're watching The Aaron Cohen Show, and I will see you guys soon on the next one.